Alright, here we're going to be looking at classifying the conic section, which we did in earlier problems. And we're going to do that, and then we're going to write the equation in standard form. Then later on we're going to graph. But right now we're going to worry about figuring out which type of conics it is, and then we're going to put it into standard form. Now we're going to look at the odd problems together, and then I'll have you go back and do the evens. Alright, here we have y squared plus 8x minus 2y minus 15 is equal to 0. And the first thing we need to do is decide what type it is. Now, to do that, we're going to use the discriminant again. Now remember, a squared is whatever with x squared. Well, a squared is 0. So that means that, and we know that b squared is 0 because there's no xy. Okay, and then we end up with c is 1 because that's what's y squared. So we end up with b squared minus 4ac. Now some of you may be able to see what we're going to end up with here, but anyway, we end up with 0 squared minus 4 times 0 times 1. So we end up with 0 is equal to 0. Well, anytime that it's equal to 0, we know that this is a parabola. Okay, so we can go ahead and label this as a parabola. Okay, now from there we've got to come up with the general form of the equation. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our y's together. Since there's really no x's together, but we'll go ahead and get our y's together. So we'll put y squared minus 2y, okay, plus 8x minus 15 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to go ahead and move the 15 over, so that I get y squared minus 2y plus 8x. Now I'm going to leave a placeholder because we're going to complete the square here in a second. And then that's all equal to 15. Well, we're going to complete the square for the y squared. So we half the 2. So we take half the 2. We get 1. We square it, and we end up with 1 here. Well, whatever we add to one side, we got to do the other. So we're going to add 1 here as well. Okay, so this is going to end up being y, our sign comes from here, minus 1 squared. Okay, because we've completed the square here so that we can end up with this. Plus 8x is equal to 16. Okay, now, since this is a parabola, we're going to go ahead and move the 8x away from it, because we want x is equal to this. So what we'll do is get y minus 1 squared, move the 8x over, and so we end up with negative 8x plus 16. Okay, the only thing else we're going to do is factor out the negative 8. So we get y minus 1 squared is equal to negative 8x minus 2. Okay, and so that's our parabola in standard form.